Hi, I'm Tim and this is Timberway Designs. In this series of videos, I take 10 rocks that anybody can find off a public beach and I cut them in half so we can see what's inside of them. Then I'll take each one of them rocks and I'll make a cabochon out of it, and I'll show that in the next episode. I got cabochons from the previous episode that Jim sent from Indiana. If you want to go directly and look at the cabochons and miss all this other good stuff here, this is the time stamp where you need to go. But I'd like you to stick around. I got some pretty cool rocks I picked up and we're going to take a close look at them. So these are some rocks I picked up along Lake Superior on the deck here. Let's take a look at them, no particular order. So we got this one here. This one had kind of a grayish, bluish theme going on with these little black dots here. Get it wet. So I thought that was kind of cool. I imagine these specks go all the way through it. It looks kind of like a quartzite to me. We had this, I don't know if I want to call this porphyry or amygdaloidal. It had these cool looking pieces going through here, and I'm just kind of hoping they go all the way through the middle of the rock and make an interesting cab. We had this here. This is a piece of amygdaloidal with prehnite. That's what that one looks like there. I think that's rhyolite, the red stuff, and then prehnite's the clearish, greenish looking stuff there. We had this one here. This is actually, it looks like hematite in this brown rock here. I'm not sure what the host rock is, but that's definitely hematite. That's what that looks like. Now this is another rock. I'm hoping this stuff's just not on the outside. It runs all the way through the rock. And then this one here, I want to say this is a chunk of granite or something. They had this cool pattern on here. Maybe a sedimentary rock. I probably picked it up because I thought it was an agate. But I thought, oh, I'm going to keep this. It looks pretty cool. This one here. This is another one. I don't know if I want to call this an amygdaloidal or a porphyry. Probably lean more towards a porphyry. The way the patterns in there, it's got these kind of teal looking spots all over the place. I'm kind of hoping it's solid on the inside and these spots are all over in there like that. There's also a piece of gneiss here, a little orange and black. Hopefully it's orange and black all the way through the rock. They're gonna make a pretty little cab. Nice pattern. Oops. At this one here. Now it don't look like much when it's dry. When it's wet, it's got kind of an interesting pattern going on here. Look at that. Probably quartz, something else. Probably just like granite with big blobs of quartz in it. I thought it looked kind of neat. I got this big pinkish looking one here. Got some pits in it, but I'm hoping they're just on the outside. And got some nice pattern going on. Look at that. So I'm really curious what's lurking inside this one. And we got another piece of amygdaloidal. It had this quartz or something on it. And just, I'm hoping it's all the way through there, this whole side of the rock, so when I split it, I'll be able to get a couple cabs off this side here. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Looks almost like granite, but I don't know. Pretty sure, but not positive. That looks like basalt. All right, we're going to gather these up. I'm going to take them downstairs, and we're going to cut them and see what's on the inside, so I'll see you down on the saw. Okay, we're downstairs on my high-tech 10-inch trim saw here. And first thing I'm going to show you is this is a continuous rim sintered diamond blade. It don't cut by being sharp. It cuts by grinding through the rocks with diamonds. I'm rubbing my thumb on it right now, and it don't even cut the glove. So don't worry about me cutting my hands on this thing. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to touch up the blade to expose more diamonds with a grinding disc. So let's start cutting. About 3 times is all you need for that. So first up, got this one here. I'm thinking I'm going to split it right along there like that. Alright, episode 57, Lake Superior rocks. Let's see what we got. Wow, look at the pattern in there. That's pretty wild. So we're going to talk about these rocks a little bit more upstairs, so we're just going to quickly look at them here. Alright, got this one with the hematite in there. I'm going to split this one right down the center. Alright, I want a hematite on the inside. Let's see what we got. Come on. Oh, right there. Ain't seeing a lot in there. A little bit there and a little bit there. Oh, well, we'll find out when we cab it. I got this little guy here. I'm just going to split it right down the middle. See if it's pretty on the inside. That's kind of interesting. Okay. Alright, this one here, I'm going to just split it right down the middle. Okay, I want to see the white going through the inside. Alright. Not as much as I'd like, but I can work with that. Yes, I can. I got this unusual looking one here. Let's cut it right down the middle. Alright, I want the pattern going through the rock. There we go. That'll work. Got some spots there. Okay. Little piece of nice here. We're going to split it right down the middle. I'm thinking, hoping the pattern on the inside is going to look like the outside. And it does. That's kind of what I wanted. Alright, I've got this little amygdaloidal here. And I think I'm just going to split it, just like that. See what the pattern looks like in here. Cool. And a few pits though. Kind of liking this side here. That looks kind of neat. Okay. Alright, got this one here. I'm kind of thinking it's going to look like this on the inside. Just hope there's enough spots in there. Well, that one there cut about like a piece of chalk. Let's see what we got. Alright. Kind of cool. Got this wannabe agate here thingy. I think I'm just going to split it like that. See what we got. Alright. Nothing special going on in there, at least I can see here. We got this one here. I think I called this a porphyry. And I'm going to split it. Alright, saw some bubbles coming out of one of these holes right here. That's never a good sign. Okay. Yeah, it's just a little pitted up there, at least on this side it is. But the blue stuff's in there like I want. Alright, I'm going to take these upstairs. We'll look at them a little closer up there and talk about them a little bit. So we'll see you upstairs. All right, here's the rocks that we cut downstairs. Let's take a closer look at them. So we'll look at this one first. Run it through the bath here to get some of the crumbs off. So this brown one here, I'm not really sure what it is. I don't think it's a lava rock or anything. I don't know, maybe it didn't seem like it was hard like a chirp. But anyway, it had this line of hematite running through there, and I was kind of hoping it went all the way through the inside. So there's the inside. Don't quite make it there. So maybe, you know, as I cab, it'll be thicker on this side here. I don't know. We'll figure something out. So that's that one there. We had this big pink one here. Had some crazy looking patterns. Also had some crazy looking pits in there. Look at that. Nice smooth cut. Maybe, let's see, I think the pits, yeah, they're kind of there, but I think we'll figure something out there. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? So I'll probably have to go, well, actually I could probably make a cab out of this side here. It's not too thick. So yeah, this should be interesting. Got a little cool chunk of gneiss here, a little orange and black. Nice color, and that should make a really nice looking cab. Actually, it looks kind of bluish, greenish tint right there. Get this one here. It's kind of leaning towards quartzite on this, but it cut pretty easily. But maybe we'll get a good shine out of it. I don't know what the red splotches are, but I'd like the color. That's probably the main reason why I picked it up. And it can kind of feel the cut a little bit. But sometimes these rocks really surprise you. They'll shine really nice, and sometimes they don't. I like the color though. That's probably why I picked it up, like I said. We had this one here with a neat pattern on the outside, right there, and there, and there. I called it amygdaloidal, and I think that's one to stick to. It didn't have a lot of it on the inside. Maybe as I cab and I get closer to the outside, I'll run into it. And it had little specks in it. You can kind of see there. And so it feels like a super smooth cut, so I'm hoping for a shiny cab out of this one. And this one here, I don't know. Kind of worried about this one. A lot of times you'll pick up these rocks and they'll be all pitted on the outside, and when you cut them, they're nice and solid on the inside. Not this one. This one's got pits all over the place. You can really see them on this side here. So I might have to go for another cut on this side to see if I can get enough solid rock there to make a relatively pit-free cabochon out of it. But I do like the mixture of the gemmy looking stuff with the host rock. And it's pretty much through there. So look at that side there. That's, ugh. We'll see. This little piece of quartz here. And there's the inside. Kind of chunky too. So it should have some pretty wild patterns in it. Got a little amygdaloidal here, rhyolite, and prehnite. And it's got some cool patterns in it. It's got this one here. I wasn't expecting that. There. And then sometimes, yeah, there's copper. That you can see right off my thumbnail. That's copper right there. So a lot of times that's how you know it's prehnite, because prehnite always seems to have copper in it. Just a little bit though, not much. So if I can find a good spot, I think this will look really good. The cab. A few pits there, but this side looks pretty solid. We had this one I was calling a piece of quartz-ish. Had this side here, and then this side here. I split it, and not really seeing. Looks like there's some mossy stuff in there maybe. But yeah, When I make the cab, maybe it'll look a lot better. I'll probably do this side here. Yeah, plenty thick enough for a cab. We'll see. Should make a shiny cab though. I'm not seeing a lot of pits and cracks in this one. And then this Oreo cookie looking one here. I wanted this to go inside of the rock, and it did a little bit right along there. So it must be at an angle like this. But I'm hoping if this all shines up here, this is going to be a really pretty cabochon. And then there's enough here, I can split this and get a cab out of each side. This one here, not so much. There wasn't a lot left on that. Maybe a edge or something. It's pretty thin though too. But this is the side I was after right here. Yeah. All right, so all these rocks here, I'll make a single cabochon out of each one, and then you'll be able to see those on episode 58. So I'm going to move these out of the way. I got episode 56 rocks I made cabs out of that Jim sent in from Indiana. So let's take a look at those. So these are the rocks that Jim sent me up from Indiana, and we cut them last week, and then this week I made cabochons out of them. So this one here is kind of it was a sedimentary rock, and it was really soft when I was cabbing it. It went really fast, and I was kind of concerned that it wouldn't cab very well. Here's the cabochon. Got an okay shine on it, but I don't think it looked too bad. Got the pattern in there. Yep. Part of it, the darker stuff shined better than the lighter stuff. You can see that there. So there's original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. This was this wild one here. You look on the outside and it was all dark and brown and stuff, and then you cut it open, it was gray and with red streaks, and it had some fortifications like right there. Get a little water on there so you can see what it looked like after I cut it. This is a rather cool looking rock on the inside. Here's the cabochon I made. Absolutely beautiful shine. Got some of the fortifications right there. Got the gray and the red stripes. I was really impressed with this one. So there's the original rock, and there's the cabochon. Look at the difference there. A little piece of granite here. And I've been picking up a lot more of this and gneiss I've been picking up too, because this stuff, I've been getting some pretty good shines out of it. This one had a kind of cool looking pattern. It had a couple pink spots in it too. So there's a pink spot there. And here's the cabochon I made. Look at that. And look at the shine on that, considering all the chunky stuff in there. Even got some of the pink stuff there. So I thought that made one beautiful cab. So here's the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. Now this is one of the ones that were cut before, and I thought it was nice, but I'm kind of leaning towards quartz. I don't really know if anybody knows for sure, because it looks like nice, but it's so coarse. And then those little black dot or red dots, I'm pretty sure those are garnets in there. That's what it kind of looked like. It made an absolutely stunning cabochon. Beautiful shine. They got a good gob of them garnets in there. Got this pattern up on top here. You can see them good back there. Look at that. So there's the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. You'll probably be making some more cabs out of that one. So they had this big pinkish looking thing. I think I said I thought it was quartzite. Had a nice subtle little pattern going on in there. Here's the cabochon. Look at that. Nice shine. Grabbed some of the different patterns in there. Even got a gray tip on here. Look at that. Not bad at all. There's original rock and there's cabochon I made out of it. This is another one that was pre-cut. And I cut it again. And this thing is just gorgeous on the inside with the green here. Now, I don't know if that's epidote or something else. But here's another one that made an absolutely stunning cabochon. Look at that. Look, just a tiny bit of undercutting in the green, but like from a distance you'll never notice it. But look at that green. It's almost like lime. So there's the original rock. And there's the cabochon I made out of it. Now, this was another one that you look at it and you go, yeah. And then you cut it in half and you go, yeah. Look at the colors in there and the pattern. So here is the cabochon I made out of this one. Managed to get a little bit of the yellow. It's got a few pits in it, but I ain't worried about those. Nice shine. There's the back. But it's got a lot of detail in there when you look at it close. But I like the orange on or yellow on both ends. So there's original rock and there's cabochon. Yeah, this big old dark one here. It had a couple streaks running through there. And when I cut it in half, I saw a lot of brown coming out, so I thought this brown streak was going to be a little on the softer side. So I was a little concerned about that. Look at the cabochon I got out of this one. And look at the shine on it. And then I think the brown stuff had some hematite in there, because you guys kind of see a little metallic going on in there, right where that light is. Man, this thing come out really nice. I was waiting for it to break on the light the brown stuff there, but it hung right in there and generated a beautiful shine. And I like the pattern. So there's original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. So this one here, I went at it a couple different ways, trying to find a portion of it that I could actually make a cab that wasn't full of fractures, and I couldn't do anything with that. I mean, it had some cool patterns, even had some fortifications in there. You can kind of see them here and there. Well, it made an absolutely shiny cabochon, other than all the fractures in there. And some, I don't know if the fractures really matter in this one. Yeah, you can kind of see them here. I don't know, it's just getting, it's really shiny. My finger's wet from, look at that. So there's the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. And this gray sedimentary rock here. It had a lot of fractures in it, but it was pretty. So I made this little cabochon here. And you can see it's got fractures and stuff. Really good shine though. Shine really good. And then this one here, I made it to go in a stainless steel bezel like this. So there's the cabochon. There's the rock it came from. So I thought we had a really good batch of cabochons. I especially like the green one down here, and I like this one a lot here, but I also like these two. So picking one as my favorite is going to be very difficult this week. If you have a favorite, let me know in the comments down below. That would be cool to see how everybody sees these cabochons. So they'll be available on Etsy someday. I'm getting so far behind it. I need somebody to crack the whip on me here, but I'm categorizing them and I'll start transferring them over here. Hopefully, maybe by the end of this week I'll have them on there. Just keep checking. Someday you're gonna go, holy crap, man! Tim's put a whole lot of cabochons on there. So let's flip the camera around, finish this up. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me cut them Lake Superior rocks in half. There's some good ones in there. There's some they might need a little tweaking to look better, but we'll figure it out. We always do here. And then I'd like to thank Jim for sending them rocks over from Indiana. Got some really nice looking rocks there. I'm going to let him pick out 3 for himself as a thanks for sending the rocks, and then the rest of them, like I said, will end up on Etsy someday. So this video comes out every Wednesday. My note don't stick to the camera like it should. Every Wednesday, and where I cut the 10 rocks in half, and we'll make cabs out of them. And then every Saturday, I have a video come out where I take a rough rock or a slab and I make a cabochon, and I show you my process where I go from the rough rock all the way to the finished cabochon. So check it out sometime. I'd like to thank all the viewers and subscribers, especially the subscribers, because it got me over 20K, and the numbers are still going up slowly. And I would love it if all you viewers out there would subscribe. It helps me out a lot here. All you got to do is go down below, push the button, absolutely free. Slide over, all you give me a thumbs up, because that gets the analytics out there so more people can find this content, and then you can hyperlink it on your mobile device. You can push the bell button to get notifications, and then I try to get this all down pat. Thumbs up, notification, bell button, hyperlink. I don't know. You folks will figure it out. So I'm gonna put up a playlist for this series here, so you don't have to go hunting around for all these videos if you want to watch rock hunting videos. And then I'll put up the video, previous videos, so you can see, I think it's 55, so you can see Jim's rocks being cut. And then you can jump over and you can see the cabochons if you want to out of them. So I really appreciate everybody watching out there. I like the interest, and I love doing this. So thanks again. That's all I got, and I'll catch you later.